Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Thursday Mornings with Tim. Me, your career coach. Today is actually episode 3, so if you've been watching, again, thank you for joining. Today, what we're going to try to talk about in 3 minutes or less is professionalism. You know, the topic of professionalism, I can talk about it for hours. You know, it's one of those areas that I feel like a lot of people miss the mark on. You know, they read their environments wrong. They don't spend enough time learning how to be a professional, and it really can kind of negatively impact them in the workforce. So today, again, in 3 minutes or less, we're going to talk about some key components of being a professional. Being a professional, of course, starts with you. I don't know how else to put that. It starts with your attitude. And attitude, of course, impacts your behavior. Behavior will impact the type of actions that you take in a work environment or a professional environment. And it all starts with you. If you have the wrong attitude, then it's going to be very hard to create this professional image of yourself. But if you have the right attitude, everything else will kind of fall in line the right way. What I mean by attitude is, you know, are you the type of employee that does the bare minimum not to get fired? Or are you the type of employee that shows your managers that you're a climber and you want more responsibility and you want more? And that's just a small example. Again, I could talk about that for hours. Professionalism, of course, extends to more areas than just the actions that you take. It extends to the way that you write, the way that you speak, and of course, the way that you dress. You know, you have to know all 3 of those areas. You have to know your audience. You know, think about writing. You know, if you write an email to a friend, you're probably going to use shorthand. You're going to use things like LOL, stuff like that you would never, ever put in an email to your boss or put in an email to a client. And so you have to recognize who your audience is. Before you hit the send button, you have to make sure you're sending it to the right person, and you have to proofread. And you have to know how the person you're sending it to communicates. Of course, this professionalism also extends to speaking. You know, the way that you address the people around you is important. You know, are you going to speak the same way to a friend as you would to your manager? Probably not. You know, you're probably going to be a lot more casual with a friend, use more common language with a friend. Or a manager, in a lot of cases, you're not going to speak that way. You're going to be more formal. But if you miss the mark and you're speaking in the wrong way, in the wrong environment, it's not going to represent you well. You know, if you're using a bunch of bad language in like a networking type environment, depending on the environment, that might work, but typically it's not, you know, because again, that represents you. So you have to know your audience. You have to know who you're speaking to. Like I said earlier, professionalism also extends to the way that you dress. And again, knowing your audience, knowing your environment is critical. You know, you're going to dress differently for corporate environment than you would, you know, working in a chemical plant. You know, maybe you're an engineer and you work a lot offsite and you're going out to these different refineries. Probably not going to show up in a suit. If you do, the people there are kind of question that. You know, and the opposite's also true. You know, take that same situation. You're an engineer, you go out a lot, but today you have a corporate meeting in the office downtown. Probably not going to show up in the same outfit that you wear to the plant. So you're going to put on something more professional. And if you miss the mark, it's going to represent you not the way that you want. So professionalism, again, it's an area that a lot of people miss the mark on, and you can learn it. You can learn how to be a professional. But like I said at the beginning, it all starts with your attitude. And if your attitude is not one that's conducive to the right type of behavior and the right type of action, it's going to be very hard for you to have the professional image that you want. Anyway, I promised I'd keep it to 3 minutes or less, and that's what I'm doing. If you guys have any questions or you want to reach out, feel free to do so. You got my name, my email address, and of course, there's always Jobs for Gators, which you can connect with us. Feel free to do so. Again, I love to talk about professionalism. I think it's a great topic for people to learn and know more about. And there's certainly more to it than what we've covered today. But thank you all for joining me, and we'll talk soon.